So, Will, I had a quick look at some text between a charter boat captain and his company in Amalfi. Want to tell us what happened to your head, Strunzo?
Okay, hey,
Jesus.
stop. Last week, Dudesy called me Strunzo, probably warranted because of what happened with my toe. If you don't know that whole story, please just go back and watch and or listen to last week's episode. I was in an Italian hospital just for a day, worried the shit out of my wonderful wife, Molly, my incredible cousins, Ciro and Rosanna came to the rescue. Ciro, who knew some people at the hospital. Rosanna came out on a scooter. She's like, came right there. She's like, amore, che fate? And kept Molly company. That was last week. Like I said, this past week, at which point we're recording this, I'm back in Napoli. We're back in Naples. We're with family. We're having a great time in the incredible historic city of Napoli. But this past week, we were in Amalfi, in the beautiful Amalfi Coast. And what Dudesy is referring to is this. Have a look at that. What do you think of that?
It don't look good, dude. It doesn't look good.
Well, actually, I'll tell you what. It looks way better than it did about 4 days ago.
Oh, God.
I'm shocked at how nice this looks now, because this part here was split open, and this part dude. There was a cut here, and here's what happened. We went. Okay, we're in Amalfi. Whatever. A quick Google search will show you the area around here. There's an island called Capri. You know it. You love it. You've heard of it, probably, maybe. Sure. We took a place that I've been to when I was a kid, and a couple of the beaches we saw. It's like, whoa! As we're touring in this boat, I'm like, that's that. Anyway, so we got this little boat, and we get on with this great guy. Actually, we were with this one guy, Renato. And the boat broke down. This other dude, Claudio, came and picked us up, which are two names that also my cousins have. So it was nice. And Claudio takes us to this grotta. There's grottos, like the blue grotto, the green grotto, the yellow grotto. There's all these grottos, these famous grottos, underwater caves that are all around Capri. And he says, this one, I think it was Grotta Verde or whatever, the green grotto. He says, you can jump in and swim if you like. So I go, okay. So Molly and I jump in. We swim to the green grotto. We swim into this cave. It's beautiful. Because of the rock formations, there's literally sunlight coming through into the grotto itself. It's all green and beautiful. It's fucking gorgeous. And I'm like, I want to go to the bottom. I want to swim to the bottom just to touch it, just to be an asshole. I just want to see how far down it is. And I was always a water baby when I was a kid, and even as a larger aquatic mammal, I feel like this is something I can do. I swam down to the bottom, Chad. I just swam down there, touched it, grabbed a rock,
Water baby.
Water baby. 10, 12, 15 feet. I don't know.
That's what water babies do.
That's what water babies do. They get down there. So I swim all the way down. I touch the bottom, and boom, I come up. But I didn't come up where I went down. Where I went up, there was space.
God, dude.
Dude, I fucking smashed my head on the rocks, right? And bang, like on the thing. And Molly, poor Molly, I felt just the poor thing. The week before, also on a Thursday, this happens. On a Thursday, I wake up last week, we talked about it. My toe looks like a fucking plum, and there was an infection. Okay, rah, rah, rah. I've taken a week's full of, antibiotic syringes in my ass while I'm in Amalfi. Shit's all good. That's all cleaned up. It's a week later. It's Thursday, and bang, I hit my head, and my life and her life flash in front of her. And as she's telling me later, she's like, I'm thinking, if you knock yourself out, that's it. You drown. Yeah. I can't get you out of there. I feel
Was
awful.
she down there with you at this point? She could see this happen?
Dude, she was 3 feet from me. She watched the whole thing. We were right
God.
there. As I'm coming up, she said it was slow motion. She's like, he's going to hit his head. He's going to hit his head. He's going to hit his head. Bang. Hit my head. Now,
Jesus.
It hurt. My neck fucking crunched down and shit. And, fuck, it's kind of fine now. It's all right.
Sure.
So, But I shook it off. I like to think of my head as an Italian rock of sorts. And I'm like, oh, okay, that hurt, but it's okay. She goes, she's worried. She's like, you're bleeding. Blood starts coming down my fucking face. Oh yeah. And I'm like,
sharks,
oh great,
dude.
Well, that's those Italian sharks, dude.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking about Big John Tenta, brother. He went over to Japan, dude. He was Japanese, dude. A Canadian sumo wrestler from Surrey, British Columbia, dude. I'm not worried about the shark, John Tenta. Real shitty gimmick, brother, that they gave him after being an earthquake, dude. Could have just left him alone. Not as bad as when they had him as Golga, dude, in the oddities, brother. Well, that's too much wrestling for this episode. So I hit my head. I come up. I'm bleeding like fucking crazy. And but I feel okay. I'm fine, whatever. So it's like, well, let's go back. We come swimming out. There's a family of Americans, like a family of 4, on these little kayaks that they rented, and they're coming in, and the kid's like, "What happened?" I was like, "Oh, be careful! There's piranha in there."
Oh my God! You fucking just terrified the kids of this family. They're gonna be scarred for life, thinking that some guy got bit in the head by fucking piranhas.
Yeah, that a piranha went on me. Which, by the way, I think those are river fish, but whatever.
Yeah, I think they live like only in the Amazon.
Yeah, and so anyway, and then Claudio piranha sees my head. The poor guy, the boat charter guy, which are all these like young Italian dudes that are just fucking sunblasted, no worries, like smoking a cigarette on the boat, which we were not supposed to jump in. I guess that's what Dudesy's referring to, is the correspondence he made with the office back on Capri. And so I get into the boat. I'm like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. And poor Molly is like trying to calm her nerves. And at that point, they have the beverages and stuff for me and Molly on the boat. And they got, I think Molly drank almost an entire bottle of Prosecco, some of the bubbly.
Sure.
And that helped her to calm her nerves. But holy fuck, an adventure. Oh, there we go. Oh, thank you, D. There's a nice picture of me on the boat with my head bleeding. I seem to be in a mood that not as good as wow. And look, it's got the
looks
rocks
like
in the background.
Shot in the head there.
Yeah, it does look like I'm getting shot in the head from the top of one of those. Well, they have all sorts of mounts and lookouts in Capri where they used to look out for pirates. You know what I mean? We're talking 200 AD.
Are those the same kind of clothes you're wearing? You're wearing like a full jacket and t-shirt while you're swimming underwater?
No. Unlike when I was a kid, a story that my cousins here keep telling each other and laughing at, that little William, when I was here as a boy, I would always wear a shirt when I went in the water because I'm a fat kid, but now I'm a fat kid that doesn't care. So I was just wearing floral swim trunks, Chad. So for the full visual. No, I was not wearing what looks like a woolly jacket there. But at any rate, we continued the tour. Capri is amazing. They showed us some crazy shit. This guy, Claudio and Renato, showed us some shit. They showed us this one spot, reminded me of the movie Midsommar that we were talking about, where you get to a certain age and then you die, you jump off and dash yourself on the rocks. Yeah. They were like, the guy was like, see this cliff? This is where the Romans would dump their slaves. They call it the slave jump or whatever. You have to jump when they execute their slaves, and probably all sorts of people who weren't technically slaves, but I would imagine maybe some of the women folk, anyone else that they want to get rid of back then.
Dude, that's a good opening to a movie. They throw all these people off a cliff. One guy survives, comes back to get revenge.
Dude, that is a good. I would watch the shit out of that.
Set it up, dude.
Set it up, bro. Let me know when to be there. I'll be there.
Well, we'll be able to make it in probably a year by just literally saying this into Dudesy.
Cool.